The first time Daniel went to prison was for robbery, the second time for possession of a firearm. He got out early on a tag last summer as prisons neared capacity, but isn't convinced freeing more people sooner will keep them out of jail. Would it have been easy to get involved in crime again?
And the honest truth, yeah, because anybody can be a friend. It don't matter if you're on a GPS tag or a normal tag. I do think is if you really want to cut prison numbers, what they need to do is start having more rehabilitation in jail.
He does think prison can be the wrong place for people who've committed less serious offences.
You're going in there with big time people, and they're enhancing what you know. They're telling you certain things that you didn't even know before now. So now you want a piece of their pie. So it's, if anything, sometimes jail is birthing bigger criminals, if that makes sense.
Thousands of prisoners will now get the chance to serve only a third of their sentence behind bars, with greater use of tagging to monitor them on release.
I honestly believe that victims will die because of these changes.
Rhiannon Bragg was stalked by her ex-partner. He turned up near her home and held her at gunpoint for 8 hours. Once he'd been released from prison on licence, she didn't feel safe until she found out he'd died.
I felt constantly at risk. What if he breaks those licence conditions? How long have I got? What will he do? So I never felt complete safety. I never felt free from fear.
These are massive changes to free up more space in prisons that will mean many more criminals are back out on the streets. People will be more reliant on the probation services and technology to work properly to keep them safe. In Parliament, the Justice Secretary defended the changes.
If our prisons collapse, courts are forced to suspend trials. The police must halt their arrests. Crime goes unpunished and criminals run amok and chaos reigns.
What do these changes amount to? A get-out-of-jail-free card for dangerous criminals.
For sex offenders, a pilot scheme offering voluntary chemical castration will now be expanded, with the government looking into whether it could become mandatory.
Doctors don't see themselves as agents of social control. If you were to try to make it mandatory here, it would have to be attached as a condition of parole, and if they refuse medication, to be brought back into prison. But as I said, we simply wouldn't support that. We don't think that's a doctor's role.
For communities plagued by petty crime, frustration that most sentences under a year will be scrapped. We can see the cameras up here and outside. How long ago did they go in?
About 6-7 months ago.
Surinder had to install the security cameras to deter shoplifters. Now, thieves are unlikely to face jail.
They more or less look at you and laugh at you in the face that, OK, you've caught us and now what can you do?
These changes, the real-world consequences of the prison crisis that will leave many feeling less safe on Britain's streets. Becky Johnson, Sky News, Birmingham.